I look sunburnt, but today was for God, so hopefully you won't do that to me. Today started off different than it has been. I talked with my roommate, an event that doesn't happen too often, mainly because we live different lives, but I spoke with him today, and we started getting on philosophy and stuff like that, which is something that I've kept away from speaking to him in particular because it's caused fights it's caused arguments, bickering, and in the past in our friendship. And this is my home. I don't want that with the person that lives right there. I want to be on good terms. But yesterday, I was reading again on Paramahansa Yogananda. Love him. I was reading one of his books called Your Precepta. In it, he gives a little story about how to live life to where your focus is on God, but you're still serving those around you. It was beautiful. And along with that, it inspired me to then share more stories to my roommate of how to speak with God, which is also a book by Paramahansa Yogananda. Now you might be thinking, how does a man whose name I can barely pronounce tell me how to speak with God? Come on, you're not Jesus. Who are you? Now, the only way that could be valid is if this man was in communion with God. If this man was basically face to face with him at all times, and he's teaching you, hey, this is actually how you can speak with him. It's kind of what he was, dog. It's kind of what he was. Man did not owe himself to any religion. His work is incredible. Okay, enough of that. I share some stuff with my roommate about how to speak with God, how to go about with God. And I still find my roommate I don't know. He's agnostic. He came out to me today. Subtly, but he's agnostic. And the one thing I really wanted to tell him is the best way to get to know God is to experiment with God. But he wasn't ready. However, I was ready. And that's why I fasted. And that's why I went out to the river. And when you drop the idea that food and water are what you live off of, but rather that you live off God now. If you drop the idea that you need something to entertain you, nope, you just need God. Just God. God. That's what my mind did today. And it was a celebration inside and out. There have been times in the past where I've had very strong, singular moments where what was outside was now within. My body was the giant cosmic body with which I am exploring right now. And then I'd come back and be like, oh wait, I'm just this tiny flesh and bone. Today was one of those moments. And it was incredible. One of the things I see people struggle with is since God is not there as a flesh and blood, they have a hard time interacting with him and seeing him. He's everywhere. That was stupid. Don't say it like that, you cocky. But he is everywhere. And we blind ourselves day in and day out. So the one way that you can go about reaching God again is to experiment with him. Today I experimented. Today I renounced something. And I traveled all the way to the river to unintentionally renounce it. Which I'm really glad I renounced it anyway. But there I was with this thing in my hand. And I was contemplating so hard. I was thinking about my life with it and my life without it. And the life without it was just one I hadn't trekked yet. I didn't know it was unknown. But this time, I'm approaching it with God, which is something I haven't done in the past. In the water it goes. That's how I renounced it. It was a fun metaphor. How did it come? What was in front of me? A river, the Willamette River. Oh, I just gave you a location. Where am I? In front of me was the river. And it was an ever-flowing sea of bliss. That was my final destination, no matter what. Ever-flowing sea of bliss. But I was clinging on to this one thing. This one thing was my anchor that kept me from flowing away into the river of bliss. But once I let go, and by letting go I mean chucking it, not only physically but mentally, emotionally, so I don't go back. We can always externally renounce, but we will always go back internally immediately, which that's not renunciating. I celebrated, and God celebrated. I don't know what to do. The wind, the water, the meditations. It was so beautiful. So many things took place, and I guess one thing just for proof for you guys, and I know he'll like it too. During the midst of it, when I was in it, one of the things was I have someone on here who checks on me like monthly, checks on me monthly. I love him to death, and it'd been a while, but in that, who appears? He's coming, don't worry. Just go back, celebrate, yay! Well, at 2:53 p.m., I'm gonna cover the name, but, either or, you see it, he messaged me. It's just like, it's that. Even that, that's stupid. That's an outside external phone thing that happened that made this so cool. Okay, sorry. I'm not calling you stupid. You know who you are. I love you. You're awesome. But to just get in communion with God, that's just what I want for you. I'm creating the astral formula, the astral projection. Cool, whatever. It's just to get in communion with God. That's all I'm speaking for. I don't care, okay? If you're astral projecting and you want knowledge, all you're learning is about God, whether you know it or not. If you're astral projecting to go see other realms and go see weird beings, all you're seeing is expressions of God, whether you know it or not, which, by the way, is expressions of you. The table's turned. You're seeing that shadow being is me? Yep, and so is your manager, and so is your mom, and your dad. We're not gonna go there. But yeah, before I end this, God has blessed me with the 2 perfect physical parents. I love you, Mom and Dad. I'll see you guys soon. This has just been I don't know, a God ramble. But you never ramble when you're talking about God. No, I definitely just did. All right, I love you guys.